Welcome to Risque Business News. I'm your host, Laura.
And I'm May, and today we are following up our episode about Don Lemon with the other fired news anchor, Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson.
We're doing a deep dive into him, his past life, a lot of past transgressions, a little oopsie whoopsies he's had along the way.
I think like almost exclusively oopsie whoopsie with a big one at the end.
Yes, so we're gonna have a lot of fun. Enjoy.
Where's the money? I don't understand how you make money.
Hold
from
on.
that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home, but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
It's to make money. It's Risque Business News.
So, Laura, you're looking bronzed.
I sure am. If you didn't notice, I have this delayed on all day long. I've just been slowly getting darker. I got a spray tan today.
Delightful.
Yes, because I'm going to a wedding in Santa Fe, New Mexico, near Albuquerque, which is where Breaking Bad
Yes. Have you been there
was.
before?
I've never been there, so I'm very excited. I'm preparing, clearly, you can tell. Trying to pretend like I've seen the sun in any period of time. It's been months.
What a show Breaking Bad was. What would you put? Like Sopranos, Breaking Bad.
I never saw The Sopranos.
You never saw The Sopranos?
I know. Listen, it's hard to... what do you just jump in?
Yes. No, you should start from day one.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
And that's the thing. I know it's... If I ever get super sick, like
yeah.
I have a couple of shows that I'm like saving for if I'm ever hospitalized for an extended period of time.
You would love it.
The Sopranos is one of them.
Yep.
The Wire, I've heard
Oh,
it's
yes,
fabulous. And if I ever get an advanced some sort of cancer, like I don't know, like I have a lot of time in chemo or something.
The thing
It's gonna be The Wire.
The thing about The Sopranos is that like when you're watching it, your personality changes. Like I remember
Matt did that.
Yeah, like I was watching it religiously for years. It was like how I went to bed, and I remember like, just like people getting murdered, the mob and shit. It's so fun. It's the best show in the world. And but I remember like I smelled something. I go, oh, it smells like my freaking ass. And they were like, okay, Tony.
See,
you
that's
go down
gonna
there
be
and
me.
you disrespect the bada bing.
That's gonna be me, like in a hospital bed.
I also like
smells like my ass in here, and they're like, you have ass cancer. So yeah, that's it.
When I was watching Mad Men, I was drinking even more than I usually drink.
Iconic.
Yes,
Wow.
and then when I was
on
watching,
theme.
when I was watching The Sopranos, a lot of sopressata. Okay, I was eating a lot of meats.
Oh, that's
a lot of
lovely.
meats.
That's lovely. Something to look forward to. So I have not seen The Sopranos. I have not seen The Wire, but I have seen Breaking Bad, and wow,
What a television program.
And it was funny. Luke Moniz, friend of the pod. He's not aware of this pod, I think, but he's a friend of the pod. He's a delightful comic. He has a bit about the lady at the Breaking Bad house in New Mexico yelling at everybody. Like all the Yelp reviews are like, "Don't let that lady scare you." And that's exact. So my friends and I were like, we gotta go to this house.
You should.
So I think we're gonna try to do that, which I'm excited for. Point being, I needed to be tanned to go down there, so I got a spray tan, and then I had an interview. And in the course of that period of time, I was just slowly getting darker. I'm talking to the lady about my background, and I'm just getting darker through the She's like, "Ma'am."
They're like, you went from not diverse to very diverse.
What is your background? Yeah. I'm like, you legally can't ask me, but assume away.
That's amazing. So did you get it?
It wasn't like for a position.
No, but what, like, do you think that they're going to see you again?
Well, I don't know. We'll find out later on, I guess. It depends if they like minorities or not.
You just file a discrimination lawsuit?
No, they're like, listen, I am German, but at that moment, you might not have necessarily known that. Then I came home and rinsed it off. So this looks
really natural.
It's still developing, but it's it was not natural at the end of that. I literally looked in the mirror and I was like, oh, this is almost something I should have commented on. Instead, I just left it for anyone to think about.
I've never actually I got one spray tan when I was like a bridesmaid in something in like Texas.
Oh, they love them.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about my roommate with the spray tan? I'm sorry.
I don't think so.
I have a lot of commentary on spray tans. I had a crazy roommate, Caroline. Sorry, Caroline, you were fucking crazy. We knew this because you had to go leave school. It was a whole thing. It was very out in the open.
Okay.
She's doing a lot better. We love her. But that was a tough year.
Okay.
And in the course of this year, she decides that we need to have, she loves spray tans to the point where she wants to have her own kit to do this.
Okay.
So, which do you think, like, get some lotions, whatever, do your thing? No. She goes and buys a tent, a pop-up tent.
With like a
and then the little thing, and you spray people down. And she basically, like, we lived in a dorm with the bunk beds, and then the room between us was about the size of a tent. And she'd pop that shit up. And I'd be like, what's happening in here? And then other girls from the team would just be coming through, ripping their clothes off, and then leaning over. Caroline's like spraying them all over.
My God.
Our room is full of chemicals.
holy shit.
At one point I go, Caroline, it's kind of an inconvenience to have a full spray tan business running out of my dorm.
Was she charging people? That'd be iconic.
I think she was charging a little bit for the like, not like for profit, but for like the
product,
especially in college, like, you know, when you're like, $250 please. Like,
that was such a thing where people were obsessed with tanning, but people would go to the tanning salons at my school, which is so bad, where they would go and they would just bake.
Yeah, that's not good for you. I would have
Crazy.
rather she started one of those businesses and got it out of my dorm.
I feel like, I mean, I don't really get like super, super like crazy pale or anything, but like I never was into that. And I'm so grateful I wasn't, because I look at some of those girls that went religiously and I'm like,
it's a bad look. You can absolutely just go
wear your sunscreen, put on a hat,
go get a spray tan, be like me.
be like Laura.
Make people nervous by slowly changing race in front of them.
Can you put sunscreen on? You can put sunscreen on over this. That's like
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the first 8 hours, you're not. I have to wait a couple more hours till I can wash with soap, and then after that, it's totally normal. You should like lotion a little bit more because that can like get flaky.
I see. Okay, cool.
Anyway, it's all from the bottle.
I've had some friends that were super into spray tans, but I think like way worse spray tans than what you got, I assume.
Maybe.
And their sheets were always like super orange.
Well, yeah, you don't want if I had come home and hopped right into bed, then like for sure it would have been orange.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Instead, I went to an interview.
Good.
Perfect. Yeah,
Good.
so that's what's going on with my look.
Wonderful. Well, for more hard-hitting topics, tune into current2news.com. Okay. So you can
updates on my spray tan.
Yeah,
They'll be
updates
hitting
on
right
Laura's spray tan, updates on the spray tan industry, I assume. So you can get your top headlines summarized in 2 minutes or less. That's pretty good.
That's quick.
That's quick.
I think I talked about my interview and spray tan for more than that.
Definitely more. So yeah, current2, the number 2, current2news.com. Check it out. They're a friend of the pod. And I think, you'd probably if you like this pod, you'd probably like that because it's not super in depth.
Yep. It's
all.
quick facts, leaves you with something. Maybe you'll giggle. I don't know if they're funny. I don't think they are, but they're fun.
I don't think they're supposed to be, are they?
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to be? Depends on your taste. It's niche.
That'd be so funny if someone was watching this. They've been like a religious viewer, and then they see us, and they're like, "Wait, this is supposed to be funny? I had no idea. This podcast is supposed to be funny? That doesn't track."
It's more of like a Tucker Carlson kind of thing. It's more of a vibe.
It's more of a vibe. Never forget. We're gonna get into some stuff about Tucker, but never forget when Tucker famously said, or I don't even think it was Tucker that said this. I think it was Fox News that said, they were like, anything said on Tucker Carlson is supposed to be a bit. And everyone was like, since when? Do you remember that?
No, I don't, but that's so funny.
They were like, oh, you can't take what Tucker says seriously.
It's for
Like,
entertainment purposes only. He was doing one of those.
I mean, it kind of fucking is. Like,
It definitely.
the news is just sensationalism and ratings. So, I mean,
it is interesting.
he sold his soul, but he's damn good at getting ratings.
He got eyes on glass. He also made a lot of money doing it. And he also maybe cost some companies some money. So I guess that's the big
that is
the big fight.
If you have been living under a rock, unless you have, I guess, you probably know that Tucker Carlson was the most watched man on cable, and now he has been fired from his position at Fox News. So he like blew everybody else out of the water basically on Fox, CNN, and MSNBC. So he had a really, really fucking popular program.
On his last Friday appearance, which he was not aware would be his last airing of the show. What were the numbers? It was like 2.992. Wow. Couldn't break 3. Do you think that's going to piss him off? I bet it will. He's going to fucking 8,000 more people couldn't have just throw it on in the background for me.
Literally. But so to put that into perspective, at the same time slot, Anderson Cooper's program on CNN only had 543,000 viewers. That's
not many.
Not
it's
great.
A lot. Don't get me wrong, but like, yeah. I mean, this is like this is one of our top 3 major news networks, and he's getting less, 1/6. Did you see that math I just did so fast?
Wow,
so
good for you.
Yeah. So Tucker, I mean, like, he was very good at his job. He lied a lot in order to stay on the top.
He did, yeah.
You know, he really did. And eventually those came and bit him in the ass. So.
They sure did. So in a statement on Monday, Fox News announced they were parting ways. So he had actually been working there for 14 years, which is a lot. Obviously, also, unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know Tucker comes with a lot of controversy. Okay, not a great guy. He's found himself in a lot of,
every time there's
guffaws, a lot of
political drama,
snafus.
he's kind of at the center. Like, he's out there just stoking the flames,
Yes, that's sort of his whole shtick. But really what put himself in the position to be fired, at least in most people's opinions, who knows, there's a lot of theories out there, but one of the biggest ones was that there was a lawsuit between Fox News and Dominion Voting Systems. So Dominion Voting Systems was the system of which the votes are counted in the election. Basically, it's like a software system, I guess.
Yeah, it's like those, when you go in, those physical systems and you like take your ballot and you put it in, that's Dominion Voting Systems. There's another one, Smartomatic, as well. Okay. And those were used by a lot of the states. Like, I think it was like over half the states used. There's not that many voting system companies out there. It's fucking niche. You're selling to the government. And like, I don't know, like the state fair or something.
Right. Or maybe also like SATs. They could probably that kind of
yeah, exactly. So the Scantrons.
Basically Scantron company.
I haven't thought about Scantrons in so long.
So they were suing Fox News, basically saying that the anchors were lying when they said that they believed that there was fraud in the election and that there was potentially tampering with their systems. So they had to prove that people like Tucker Carlson, people like Laura Ingraham, and the like, were knowingly lying about this. And so what they did was they subpoenaed their text messages, and they did find some pretty damning evidence.
Were knowingly lying. And it was important because, like, to be fair, I was thinking about it. If I worked at Dominion, I would have been so pissed. Because it cost them so much money. I think the claim was that it cost them $88 million in lost profits, $600 million in future profits.
Whoa.
They lost at minimum, just contracts that they're aware of, 20 contracts and potential opportunities with 39 more jurisdictions, and then a $921 million hit to its valuation. So, like, if you're a fucking company, they were like, okay, this isn't funny anymore. Right. This is like actually really annoying. Like, I'm trying to buy a Subaru for my wife. There's lesbians in this situation.
So they ended up settling, and Fox News paid them $787 million in a settlement.
Yeah, and that was a surprise. That came out of like fucking left field because they had gone to. It was like their first day of trial, and then all of a sudden they like blew everyone out of the water by settling for a huge amount of money.
Right. So pretty crazy. So he, a lot of things, like, people are like, what did he say exactly? So, basically he was saying a lot of things about his, colleagues and former colleagues at Fox, which is sort of shitty. And then he also said that he hated Trump. He was like, I hate Trump. He's really good at destroying things. He's the undisputed world champion of that. This is a quote. He could easily destroy us if we play it wrong. So basically he was just like saying whatever the network was asking him to say. And he goes, I hate him passionately, he said. He goes, we're all pretending that we've got a lot to show for it. But admitting what a disaster it's been is too tough to digest. It's been regarding the Trump's presidency. But come on, there's really no upside to Trump. And then he also, like, which is crazy because if you watch Tucker's program, you would think that he was like the number one supporter of Trump ever.
You'd think he would invite him on to do gay porn
Right.
live.
People would tune in.
I would tune in.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna throw up the whole time, but like I'm not gonna miss history, you know?
Yeah. Did you guys hear that big meow from me?
Greg is in the house.
Greg is like, I love Tucker. I follow every Friday. Yeah, pretty fucking insane. So it is really interesting. Like I've said this before, but I'm like, you know, a lot of people on the right specifically will be like, oh, the mainstream media is lying and this, and this. And I'm like, is the call coming from inside the house?
Yeah.
Because one of your top people, Tucker Carlson, is admitting that he's not believing in the things that he was saying on air. So I'm like, yeah. I mean, I guess he's kind of proving you're right, but you did not in the way that you thought.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't doubt that on both sides, these guys are like given a list of views that they have to go for. I mean, for sure. They're figureheads. They're talking, you know, needing to represent what Fox News and Murdoch ultimately want, which is kind of interesting.
Right, exactly.
Isn't Murdoch even like a little bit like, how'd this get going so far? How'd this happen so intensely? I know we're doing great. It's a lot of money, but like, wow.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I mean, listen, the new, it's like basically it's just like the under a microscope worst parts of both parties are on cable television for 70-year-olds to get pissed about.
Yes. Oh my God. I saw that stat on Twitter and then we fact checked it, and
65
it's apparently
young spring chickens, actually.
Yes, excuse me, right at retirement age. They just hop on, throw Fox News on. Was 70 to 65 years old was the average age for Fox News.
And CNN, I think, and also MSNBC, right?
Was it? I didn't read that, but maybe. But point being, either way, let's for sure Fox News. That means average. That means most of them are older than that.
Yeah.
Holy
so
shit.
CNN, the median age of CNN viewers is 64. So
wow.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's these people in, obviously there's a lot of people of all across the spectrum, you know, but they're consuming very sensationalized reporting on TV and then buying the gold bullions that they are advertising directly after, and then being like, why are you getting that crypto? And
they
like,
have to
stop buying gold coins.
They have to be a true American and get all 50 of the gold coins.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get those.
We should just have them in the background.
It's 50
That's perfect.
gold coins in the background.
But I wonder, like, if that generation, honestly, like, if that generation just has been consuming sensationalized news from the get-go, because obviously before the internet, those were the only two sources of news. So I'm like, maybe that was just the way it's been forever, that, like, if you're going to tune into the news, it's going to be, like, this hyperbole of what the truth actually is.
It's also probably because it's on TV. Like, if we think about it, like on TV, you have to support being on TV. So it's not like a YouTube channel, or frankly, even journalism is relatively low cost, you know, like putting an article up, having a, you know, email list and sending out your stuff pretty cheap. You can do that without the infrastructure. So in order to have infrastructure, you need to have advertisers. In order to have advertisers, you need to have eyes on glass. In order to have eyes on glass, you got to have something spicy.
You got to have something spicy. You got to have some meat. You can't just be like, oh, things are pretty good, and actually people are getting along pretty well.
This is a pretty nuanced opinion, and, you know, like, here's the, you know, it's balanced, and some people were right and some people were wrong, and the other people also were wrong and right.
This reminds me, I think I've said this on the pod before, but I heard a quote that people in China don't watch the news because they know it's propaganda, so they're confused why Americans watch the news.
We are like
because
one
they think
degree
it's
away.
Not propaganda. Because they were like, how could you possibly tune in to CNN or Fox and believe that this is the truth? It's propaganda.
Did you see, I'm sorry, I don't want to distract, but did you see that North Korean advertisement that they had? There was, I only saw screenshots from it, but apparently they were trying to pretend that they had a water park.
Oh my God.
They don't know, like, what water parks look like in real. It's called, I think it's called Munsu Water Park. It's the Washington Post. It's from a while ago, but still, creepiest water park you've ever seen. They had all these pictures like as advertisements for this park of people enjoying it, and it was fucking empty.
Oh,
Look at this. There's like 8 people through there. If you go to a water park in like the real world, I wish I could find the original ones from this ad because they were so funny. Maybe I'll put them on our Instagram. Plug to follow us on Instagram and YouTube.
Dude, North
Who's
Korea is
also on YouTube.
insane.
It was just really funny because you could tell the people making the advertisement hadn't really seen
Yeah.
this advertisement, or like hadn't seen like what a normal water park looks like, and it was just not nearly crowded enough. I'll find it another time. Hilarious.
Do you think it's like AI generated or what?
No, I think it's like a real like facade front, and they just had like people standing in front of it and just being like, yeah.
Why? Like for what? So
Because
we
they
can be
want-
like, oh, okay, I guess
Well,
there's
'cause-
no genocide going on over there. People aren't starving in the streets. No one's eating rats that they found on the ground because there's a water park.
Exactly. I think exactly. No, I think you nailed it. I think that's exactly what they want. It's like to convince not only their own people, but then like people around the world. Like, nah, we're doing good. Look at this water park. People are having fun. It's just a lady like standing in front of like a concrete structure. She's just like, yeah, I'm totally here on my own free will.
God.
I will find the pictures and post them. I don't have them readily available, but they were funny.
I don't know. I just remember. I feel like I need to like look like further into North Korea because it is fascinating and it's so sad and it's
interesting.
so terrible and it's just going on right now as we live and breathe.
Yeah.
And it's bonkers.
Yeah.
Like it genuinely is bonkers. And I
I
don't
know.
know.
We gotta check in on
Now that looks like a good time.
It's completely fucking empty. Here we go. I found a video. There's like 4 people. Oh, it's so funny to me. What is this?
Yeah.
There's like 6 people at this water park versus if you go to like Wet and Wild or like Six Flags
Wet
or like
n Wild.
Schlitterbahn. Maybe I'm just
Waterways was the
naming
one in-
niche Texas parks.
Yeah.
Schlitterbahn was a big deal. Schlitterbahn, you could barely walk around.
What?
Because there were people
Schlitterbahn,
ever-
that's what it's called?
Schlitterbahn, yes. Come on.
Did you ever go to Waterways in Wareham, Massachusetts?
I sure didn't. I sure did not.
Yeah, I went like every year for my birthday from the ages of like 7 to 11. And it
Yeah.
was awesome.
It's awesome, and let me tell you, I'm guessing it's packed.
And there was a big ass slide that I was always so scared to go down. It's one of those things that everyone's like, we gotta go down it. And it was like
Yeah.
torture for me, but I did it. But I was like,
and then
I
afterwards, you're
wouldn't
like,
have fun at all. Yeah, but like, you know when you just get peer pressured by kids? And I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Like when people made you jump off of like people would jump off of bridges into the ocean.
Oh, that was.
Oh.
See, here's the thing.
I hated that shit.
I was the person peer pressuring people.
Fuck that. I hated it. I would just do it immediately. I would get there and do it immediately so that everyone would just fucking stop asking me.
Leave you alone.
Yeah.
It is weird how like I don't know. It was compulsive. I needed people to jump off that bridge. I was like, have you done
No
it yet though?
Me and Mark actually right after we got engaged, we jumped off the Jaws Bridge in Martha's
cute.
Vineyard, and it was like I was like, oh, this is like symbolizing us like going
Jumping
into
into
our
the-
marriage, and Mark like pushed me off, and I went in alone.
That was symbolic.
Yeah.
All right. That's very funny. All right, Tucker. What's
All
this?
right, Tucker. So back to Tucker. He had a lot of damning texts actually for the lawsuit
It's
specifically.
crazy that they can get your text messages.
I know. I mean, I guess if you're a public figure like that, but I think they can do that. Like if you and I got into a lawsuit, they could go into our text messages,
Ooh.
right? And they would find some.
Thank God we
really
signed
embarrassing
NDAs. That's one of my running jokes is I'm gonna have my friends just start signing NDAs.
I'm gonna have my baby sign an NDA before it leaves the hospital. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody involved in seeing my vagina give birth to this has to sign an NDA.
Literally.
I don't want anyone talking about how weird that was.
So he said on November 9th, he goes, that software shit is absurd. We don't know anything about the software that many say was rigged. We don't know. We ought to find out. Oh, wait, sorry. He said that software shit is absurd in this text, then that second party said on TV. So
so basically he was saying that it was absurd that they were saying the
that
system was rigged.
And so Dominion
Privately.
sees that. Yes, so privately. So Dominion's like, you knowingly lied on air because,
Well-
or at least you're not saying the opinion that's your actual opinion on air.
That's so interesting because defamation cases are really tricky. So they were very lucky. I don't know how going into that lawsuit, they must have been like, this might not work.
Oh, yeah.
Like this really could not go in our favor because it's so hard to say, don't you have to have like intent to mislead deliberately, like knowing the falsehood or something?
You have to deliberately know that you're lying.
Right.
And it has to be proven that you deliberately lied.
And that's hard to do because
Very
usually
hard to
lying's
do.
just up here in my brain.
but you don't put it into text with your colleagues
Hey, May, I'm going to lie about this.
on air in like 2 hours.
2 hours. It's going to be great.
He also called their lawyer a cunt.
Oh,
and a
well, that, I mean,
nutcase.
that's 0% surprising.
Yeah.
Why is that even brought up? I mean, it's not good, but like,
Yeah.
duh.
That is very
It's on brand.
very on brand. Some things that are not on brand though is that he was really disgusted with Trump. So he
Yeah.
said Trump skipped Biden's inauguration famously, and Tucker said, "It's hard to believe, so destructive. It's disgusting. I'm trying to look away," which is kind of insane.
Weird thing to get your panties in a twist about, but
I know.
I mean, whatever. Word. Okay.
Yeah. And then so 2 days before the
It's like it's tradition.
So 2 days before the Capitol riot,
Uh-oh.
Carlson wrote to a colleague that, quote, "We are very, very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights. I truly can't wait." So,
Yeah. Well, no, you're not.
yeah, well, you're 2 days out from literally all you'll be talking about is Trump. So he also
Wow.
called him a demonic force, a destroyer. And he goes, "But he's not going to destroy us. Not us." He said, "I've been thinking about this every day for 4 years." So he like fucking hates Trump, which is like blowing my mind.
That is surprising. Huh.
right.
Interesting. I wonder. So did Fox News release? How do we know all this? Was it all public in the? I mean, I don't know. If
I
we
guess
know
it was public in the court case, but
because that must really hurt Tucker's popularity. I know this all just came out. Like this is relatively recent, and we obviously, I mean, people were still tuning into the show, but they
Yeah.
really, a lot of the people who watch him really love Trump. So if this is, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, unless he's
who's-
trying to go a different angle, maybe him and Don Lemon are going to do
Oh my God.
a crossfire where it's
Oh,
just moderate talking points.
It's like this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. He also had might come to as a huge shock to those listening. He had some sexism claims. Wow. Curveball. This woman, Abby
More C
Grossberg,
words.
she worked as a producer for Tucker Carlson and another lady named Maria Bartiromo before being fired. And she was suing Fox News on the basis that her career was thwarted by what she claims was a culture of misogyny and anti-Semitism.
No
what
shit.
you don't say.
No shit.
Fox News says that her claims have no merit. I saw this lady
What if they
on...
were like, yeah, you right.
Yeah. I saw this lady on a segment. I don't know where. I think maybe MSNBC. But she was wearing just a terrible outfit. Here she is. I hate the outfit. The makeup was terrible. That's the only thing I have to say
I don't think they're going to get a lot
about
of
that.
like great stylists. I don't think there's any cool gay stylists who are like,
Yeah.
let's fix your look for Fox News.
Right. Let's get
Maybe a few, but they're not working on her.
You know, that's actually something that I've thought of before where I'm like, where does like someone like Candace Owens go to get her hair done? Because it's like
Yeah.
a lot of people hate you.
A lot of people hate her. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, it's a good
And
point.
it's not like a stylist would like want to put that on their TikTok. Like today my client Candace came in and she needed this and she was getting a nice little highlight here. Like show him for the camera, Candace. And we had a really tame, normal conversation.
Yeah, it would be niche. It would definitely be you're picking a lane.
Yeah.
Not a lot of...
But I mean, obviously someone's doing it and like probably running all the way to the bank because all the Fox News posts and shit.
I mean,
all
they
the
have to
anchors-
have this stuff too. Here's the thing. I think at the end of the day, let's be real. We're coin operated. I'm sure they're like, listen, we'll pay you 50% more.
Right,
There's a couple
right.
people are like, I do have student loans.
Right.
Okay.
Or I was
and I
even-
can't blame them at all.
Yeah.
I really don't.
No, of course not. But like
Style
me-
the shit out of that hair. Make it a little shitty though.
I was
nice
also-
work.
I was thinking about this because when you go to buy a house, it's like a bidding war. And you can like write a letter to somebody so that they feel more attached to you and are more willing to sell you the house. And I was like, I feel like Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, like they have to be outbidding the last person by like $1 million.
Like a lot.
By like a lot for that to be attractive to most people, unless they just happen to
Well, but there
find a
are
hardcore
there,
Republican.
There are some, and depending on where they're buying, like Florida, you're
Right.
gonna get a discount.
San Diego.
San Diego, discount.
Which by the way, speaking of San Diego, so I wanted to take a little bit of a step back because my favorite thing to do with these supervillains like Tucker Carlson, Elon Musk in some capacities, like
Don Lemon.
Kanye West. I'm like, where do they come from? Where are these fucking people?
How did this happen?
Right. So I wanted to like learn a little bit more about who is Tucker? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's his deal?
So he was born, he's the oldest of 2 children. He was born to Richard Warner Carlson, who was a media executive, and Lisa McNear Lombardi Carlson, who was an artist.
Cute. Whoa.
So, yeah. I actually want to see. I want to be like Lisa McNear Lombardi Carlson art.
Art? Anything good?
I don't know.
Also,
see.
what if it's like decently priced and
I
buy
guess
some
that's
of her art?
Oh, it's not great. Well,
Is that kiwis?
it's kiwis. Not bad. There she is.
Oh, there could her go.
It's
There's a lot of more kiwis.
it's like it's a lot of kiwis.
Huh.
Okay.
That I didn't see that coming.
She's into kiwis, but
It's like a table made of what can only be described as painted on kiwis.
yeah. It's a little rudimentary to me.
Sure. So she was, yeah.
Anyway, so
She didn't work. Okay, we got it.
She didn't work. So when Tucker, this is sad, when Tucker was 6 years old, his mother left the family and she ultimately settled in France. She died in 2011. Tucker and his brother Buckley never saw her ever again after she left, which is really sad. Because I feel like 6 is even worse than if she left when they were a baby. Like
you know him.
She looked him in the face and said, "Peace.
I got a kiwis to paint.
Yeah.
I'm really busy.
I'm super busy painting kiwis in France."
Oh no.
Yeah.
I did not see me feeling bad for Tucker in this episode. All right, plot twist.
Here's what I think. I mean, I listen to a podcast that says this all the time about murderers, and Tucker's not a murderer.
Yeah.
But like
that
that we know of. But
getting sued now.
they'll say this about like murderers where they're like they'll go through the childhood of the murder, and usually it's fucking horrible. And and so they'll be like, we feel bad for the child, not the adult. So I feel bad for child Tucker in this situation.
And that's the thing. A lot of people have had parents leave when they were little and they didn't become what is it? Demonic forces? Oh, that was Trump.
That was Trump.
But
Yeah.
you could I don't know. The point is no one's like, this has been a great net positive on this country.
Right. Yeah.
We're all calmer because of him. Thanks.
Right. So they moved in with their father in La Jolla, California, and they both attended primary school there. And then his dad actually married Patricia Swanson from Swanson Food. So they had a little bit of coin.
Yeah, they had those prepackaged. What kind of food do they do? Chicken? Swanson
And
chicken. There you
my
go.
cat is going crazy outside.
You heard Swanson chicken?
He wants to comment so badly on his favorite talking head, Tucker. So Tucker and Buckley both went to St. George's School, which is a private boarding school in Rhode Island. I famously played against them in high school.
I swam there multiple times, and I think I had the pool record.
Wow.
It was like six meets there, so not hard to do.
Yeah. So Tucker actually met his future wife there, Susan Andrews, and they've been together ever since, which is pretty fucking insane.
That is weird.
Yeah.
It's always weird to me when I'm like, you really found the one in high school?
I guess so.
There's so many people.
I know.
That was it. I mean, good for you. Way to make the hunt easy.
Yeah.
They seem happy.
I mean, they're still
together, yeah.
which they've been together for over 30 years, which is pretty insane. Yeah. And then I love this article because it obviously hates Tucker. So the way that they phrase this made me laugh. It goes, Tucker applied to admission to several prestigious universities, but was turned down. Okay. And it goes, with the help of his future father-in-law, who was the headmaster of St. George's, he was eventually accepted by Trinity College, basically being like, they were the only ones to take him. By the way, Trinity's a really good school.
Trinity's a good school. And also he was normal at this point. He hadn't done anything. Just shitting on a poor 19-year-old kid or whatever old you are.
Yeah, this poor 18-year-old kid who has no mom.
Doing his best. Yeah, he's just fucking no mom. Relax. Okay, he went to Trinity. It's good job.
It's a great school.
19-year-old Tucker, good for you. Work on the rest of it. Things went a little awry.
I would have loved to have gone to Trinity.
Yeah, it's a good school. What the
great
fuck?
school.
Hey.
So so right out of school, he tried to join the CIA and was rejected. And everyone points that out, which is very, very funny to me.
Again, what he didn't want to go work in sales at some random place. It's like, you're gonna. But,
you have
but
to.
news sales.
Genuinely, I would never want to work for the government.
No.
No.
But I can understand the CIA, especially back then, maybe there weren't as many the bad things that they've done kind of public, like how shitty all that. The internet wasn't really a thing yet. Like it was barely a thing in 1991. We're going to ask Jeeves, what's it like working for the CIA? And they're like, it has a pension. That's pretty cool. We love a pension.
Right. I feel like the CIA is significantly less cool than it used to be.
Absolutely. Because we know, like, yeah, no, absolutely not. And also, I think a lot of like working for those agencies now is just computer work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of computer work.
Everyone thinks it's like James Bond.
It's not at all. I mean, maybe like 3 people are doing that.
Yeah.
You know?
I would way rather be behind a desk than doing James Bond.
Oh my God, of course. You can't have like a family.
No.
You can't have friends. It doesn't seem like a good gig.
No, it doesn't. So that could have been, I love how everyone's like, the CIA rejected him. And I'm like, all right, well then.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm also like, the CIA should be rejecting a lot of people, number one. Number two, his life and the trajectory of division within this country might have been a lot different if he had just been accepted by the fucking CIA.
Time. I'd be like, listen, take another look at that application.
So on the advice of his father, who is obviously in media, so he turned to journalism and he took a position as a fact checker for the conservative journal Policy Review, and later wrote op-eds for the Arkansas Democrat Gazette in Little Rock. And in 1995, he joined the staff of the Weekly Standard, which was a conservative opinion magazine co-founded by some guy. And he later wrote numerous columns, opinion pieces, profiles, things of that nature for Esquire, The New Republic, Forbes, Slate, New York Magazine, The Atlantic, and The Wall Street Journal. So...
Okay, so he just was trying to get money.
He was doing his damn thing.
He was trying to get paid by whoever would pay him to write things, and I get it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So he actually first appeared on television in 1995 when he was interviewed by CBS newscaster Dan Rather on 48 Hours about the controversial trial of O.J. Simpson. Like, why the fuck does he know anything about O.J. Simpson?
What does this guy have to say? That is hilarious.
Yeah.
What do we know what her thought? We don't have to go into this.
I don't know actually, but that sort of sparked him as a conservative commentator on debate programs. Like he was co-host of a CNN, which is very funny to me.
Wow.
CNN debate show called The Spin Room. So at one point in time, he was there at CNN. He worked for CNN. He also hosted Crossfire, which was another debate program, which actually I've heard is really good.
Yeah.
Or used to be really good because it used to be back when our country wasn't so fucking polarized and you couldn't even like be in the same room with someone with different not even ideologies, different political viewpoints of view. And so they would have just like a little back and forth rat-tat-tat with people that were on the other side.
I mean, they would have like a little debate program, and it's cute. Back before everyone would be like, we will actually kill you.
Right. Because we are, I mean...
It's a shame that we can't have more open conversations.
Well, it's so easy to demonize the other side. Like I do these little road gigs where I'm like in middle America, like farming towns, and you meet these people and I'm like, if you ask somebody in Brooklyn what someone in this town would be like, they would tell you like a horrible, horrible, terrible person. And I'm like, they're people that farm. They want to fit in with the people around them.
I mean, also it's like a lot of just like people with normal ass jobs who are just out there being normal.
Just like having a family.
Sales executive, whatever.
Yeah, going to school.
Normal.
Chilling.
Yeah. I mean, I lived in Texas for 7 years, so I get it.
Right.
There are people there who I'm like, you are bad people, but there are also a lot of way more people who are wonderful.
Yeah.
Some of my very good friends.
Right, of course.
So
anyway, a lot of his first talking stuff was on CNN, which I just find mind-blowing now, which is crazy. Jon Stewart called it though back in October of 2004. He said that he declared that he was a political hack who was hurting America by engaging in partisan political theater rather than meaningful debate, which is so apropos. That is perfect.
It's so funny he said it then, and Tucker Carlson was like, hold my beer.
Yeah. He's like,
are you kidding me? I'm going to show you.
He was probably like, that's a great idea. I see dollar signs, and I see them everywhere.
I think I'm going to make this my whole thing.
Totally.
And he did.
It's pretty amazing.
Cut to the January 6th.
Oh, yeah. So Carlson moved to MSNBC, where his next show, Tucker, it ran until 2008. It was actually called Tucker, not Tucka.
Not Tucka.
And in 2010, he and Neil Patel, who was a Republican political advisor who had been his roommate at Trinity College. Man, it is amazing how the world works, and these two people were just found each other.
Yeah.
They found
Match made in heaven.
They found the Daily Caller, which is a conservative news and commentary website. So seeking to increase its viewership among the far right. So specifically, they were like, let's get these people to look at this shit. The site soon descended into extremism and sensationalism.
Yeah.
So
That's because it's more interesting.
it is.
People want to read that stuff.
It is.
Because it reads like a storybook. And we
It
like
does.
books. The stories books.
Yeah, and you know what? Like being in comedy, like we discussed this a little bit off air, but there are people that, get really, really frustrated with like not getting seen by the industry, not having people look at them, attention them, not getting any sort of notoriety or moving up in the ranks or getting money or touring or whatever. And so what they'll do is like they'll just go super far right or super far left.
Yeah.
And try to just capture essentially a brainwashed audience.
Yeah, they want to get some part of the like the lizard brain on both sides. Like
On both
the
sides,
very
yeah.
like base of someone who is just going to hear enough words that trigger, like, I hate to use the word trigger because it's triggering.
Yeah.
But hear enough of those words that they're like, that guy's right.
They're like, this guy, I like this guy. I like what
fucking
he
gets
said.
it.
Did
Did you laugh one time? You didn't.
Right. He said something transphobic. I like it.
Yeah, transphobic.
Yeah,
We're
right.
gonna do that. Or like I said they them and the wow, like it's
Right.
it's not the same, but it's like the same energy towards it.
It is, yeah. And I've
Two
seen it
sides of
work.
the same coin.
Yeah, exactly.
One
Two
that
sides
I
of the same
will
coin.
agree with more, but you get it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they're doing the same thing. They basically just like started that with news, which is way more shitty than comedy. But you know,
Right, because it's supposed to be for real.
Yeah.
because it's supposed to not be for entertainment purposes only.
right? It is just, oh god, the news is so stupid. It really is. It drives me crazy. Like,
You're
there's
right.
nowhere to get the real news. Like, whenever something happens, like I'll see the New York Times article on it, and I'll say, okay, and then I do a little Google search, and I say, that's the real story of what happened.
I actually just started following this Instagram account called All Sides Now.
Oh.
You guys should follow it. I don't know. It's fun because whenever a story comes up, it'll take the lines from each, like a moderate considered news source, liberal and right, and it puts them all next to each other, so you can like, you kind of get a quick sense of what's up with the story.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's just so shitty that like. I mean, maybe I was just naive and young, but growing up, I used to think that like the New York Times, for example, was a bastion of truth. Everything I read in there was exactly true.
They're all trying to make a buck.
And it's just not at all. Or at least it's very obviously hiding some convenient things with like every story.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to have like a degree to know what's going on anymore.
I know. Alrighty, so I'm going to get into some of his biggest controversies. These are just some of the hits. There's a lot of other controversies I'm sure I'm not going to get into because let me tell you something. How long he's been on air?
Yeah, he's busy.
He's busy. He's gotten into some shit, you guys. So like if you guys are yelling at your phones being like, what about this? What about this? I didn't get to it. Sorry.
Yeah.
So this first one,
leave a comment. Leave us a comment.
Yeah, please leave a comment. That would be fantastic. So this first one in 2011, Tucker Carlson said that Michael Vick should be executed for his dog mistreatment.
Dude,
Little extreme.
Relax.
A little much.
Let a judge handle that. How about that?
Now, if it was Greg and Password.
Yeah, I'd kill him, so it'd be fine.
Right. So he was guest hosting on Sean Hannity, another stand-up dude, his show on Fox. And he made headlines when he said that Michael Vick, who pled guilty in 2007 to a federal charge of unlawful interstate dog fighting, should have been executed. Yikes. So about a week later, he returned to the show to apologize. And he said, quote, anybody who looks into how he mistreated these dogs and personally tortured them to death gets upset. And I overspoke. I'm not comfortable with the death penalty under any circumstances, which is also sort of
surprising. I wonder if he'd still say that now. You know what I mean?
Because
a while ago.
Because Don Lemon in 2011, he said some stuff, and I think I sent you this video I saw of him saying stuff where I was like, if you said that now, that would be the most far right talking point I've ever fucking seen.
He had this series that again, there was a lot to cover with Don, so we didn't get into it, where he was talking about how young black men need to pull their pants up and stuff like that. And what were the other ones? That was the one I just kept seeing butts.
It was like get married if you're gonna have kids, like a bunch of like.
It was very much like conservative leaning talking points that I don't think he'd say now. And he was adamant.
He
about
was
it.
like, that was like his pedestal.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. He doubled down. He said, of course, I don't think he should be executed. And it's like, yeah, but maybe like this Shell was saying that. I'm so glad that we do a podcast and we are not live on air anywhere.
It's
because
true.
no one like I feel like he's led with this whole thing being like, oh, nothing I take should be taken like nothing I say should be taken like super seriously. And I was like, yeah, but you're on the news. Like, yes, it should.
Yeah, I don't know who is supposed to be taken seriously, man. You and like politicians are like, we're not doing bits. You're actually controlling. You're the guy. You're in charge.
It's so weird.
You're not running jokes. You're not getting zingers in there, man. You're up.
Oh my God.
Influencing voters.
Truly. So December 26, 2016, Tucker Carlson faced backlash after an interview with a Teen Vogue contributor named Lauren Duca.
Okay.
So after an on-air conversation between Carlson and Teen Vogue contributor, why the fuck is she on this? Like, what are we doing here?
Why was he on air with her?
I don't know.
Listen, what lip glosses are in this year? Voters want to know.
What anorexia can we instill in the minds of 12-year-old girls across this country?
Soy.
This is the hard-hitting facts.
Is it in or out? Teen Vogue, I have a bone to pick with them.
Oh, big time.
Those fuckers.
Literally.
They really did us dirty.
So Lauren Duca.
What did he say? What did he do to her?
The conversation boiled over regarding her commentary on Trump. The political host dismissed the writer and told her to, quote, stick to the thigh-high boots in reference to the pop culture stories that she also writes for the publication. You're better at that, he said. Zing.
Yeah, that's, again, I'm not sure what. This just feels like a mismatch here.
Yeah.
Why? What guest did they book who backed out last minute and they were like, is Lauren's in the lobby? Should we just bring her up, I guess?
Yeah, maybe they just share like a building with Fox News. And they were like,
and they were like, we literally have no one, and like he's going on air in like 40 minutes. So, like, we really need to call Lauren. I don't know. She's like, I get coffee with her, you know?
Well, it's also really funny to be like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe 2016 was, I feel like that's like the hottest time to be talking about Trump. But I do feel like I would never go on Tucker Carlson. I just wouldn't want my face next to his face under any circumstance.
No, absolutely not.
Like, what do you gain from that?
Also, you work for Teen Vogue. It's not applicable to your career.
It makes no sense.
So funny.
It really doesn't.
I wonder what she's doing now.
I don't know. So she defended herself on Twitter, actually, after the interview, writing that Tucker is an enemy of rational discourse. And in this fraught moment, his bully tactics are profoundly damaging and achieve nothing. So.
Oh.
Anyway.
Oh, wow. She used that to like kind of how to start a revolution, has a column, thigh-high politics. That's what he was referencing. Okay, so she was the Teen Vogue political columnist. She's so pretty. Oh, fuck you. Look how pretty she is.
Isn't it so funny that growing up, everybody wanted to work for stuff like this? Like Vogue or whatever. And then you realize that they pay you no money and it's like a terrible working environment.
Absolutely not. Yeah. Wow.
Every single like girly pop movie for the longest time was just
you had to be working.
You had to be working at a you had to be working at a news thing like that, but you really want to do the hard hitting stuff.
Yeah. But I have to write these like fashion columns about thigh high boots, but I want to be
and I want to talk about the Civil War in Sudan.
Yeah. That's my real interest piece. For sure.
And then at the end, you get the guy and you get the Sudan Civil War.
And he's the cool, nerdy guy who is into the politics. And he's like gone overseas multiple times. And they meet cute in a coffee shop. I'm going to write one of these. I'm going to write another. Because honestly, I'd watch the shit out of that show. Again, right now, tonight, I'd watch that movie I just described. I'm still as interested.
ChatGPT could write a hell of a script.
Oh my God, I should do that. That's funny.
By the way, this is an aside from Tucker, so sorry that this is kind of all over the place, but we got to talk about the protests that are going on right now about the Writers Guild.
Oh yeah, there's a strike. There's people. A strike. You're gonna have to be listening to us a little bit more because there's not gonna be a lot of other content available for you.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. We are not in a guild. We are making no money.
JP McDade had the funniest.
He is a real one. Friend of the pod.
He had the funniest fucking tweet I've ever seen in my entire life about this. So it goes, I support the WGA, even though most of you are hacks and talentless nepotism cases who bitch and moan about your easy job because you've never really had one, and you wouldn't be half the comedy writer I am if I had a severe concussion. Hashtag stand with WGA.
He's so good.
Is that not the funniest fucking thing you've ever seen?
He is so freaking hilarious.
He is amazing. He's one of the funniest comics. His name is JP McDade. Everybody check him out.
So
He's really fucking funny.
funny.
Okay. Next, Tucker Carlson scandal. This was really bad.
Oh yeah, this is not good.
December 15th, 2018, Tucker Carlson suggests that immigrants would make the country, quote, poorer and dirtier. So,
what are we doing, man? You are a news anchor. Come on. God damn it. You are not a trucker. You are not like some guy at a gas station who's had a little too much to drink. You know, you're on air. Yeah. You're live, man.
Do you remember when Kelly Osbourne said that? Do you know what I'm about to say?
No.
She was on The View for the longest time. And she was trying to like dunk on some conservative or whatever. She was like, if you're not going to, this is what she said. This is a direct quote. This is not me. This is her. Okay. This is like basically a direct quote where she said, she was like, well, if you're not going to let Mexicans into this country, who do you think is going to clean your toilet, Donald Trump? And everybody was like, ooh. And she was like, no, I don't mean like, and they were like, they were like, I don't think that was the slam dunk you thought it was going to be.
That's maybe we move it along because any explanation's not going to help.
It's the most cringy thing ever.
That was.
Meanwhile, she's like a fucking...
Got him. Yeah, I showed him what's up.
It's so... The View... We need to do an episode on The View.
Oh,
because
there's so much to this podcast. There's literally on endless topics.
Truly. The View is infuriating because they pretend to be good people and they're the
And then
worst.
every once in a while the veil slips and you're like, what was
every
that?
once in a while. I've seen like 80 gajillion veil slips.
Okay, well, I'm not watching The View, so maybe he's a fucking biggest fan.
It comes up on my TikTok and it is insanity.
My TikTok is just cat videos.
Ugh, that's
and then
a nice
like
place
sometimes
to be.
rabbit bait videos. And sometimes together.
Okay. So anyway, so he said, that's what he said. And then he goes, our leaders demand that you shut up and accept this. He said at the time, we have a moral obligation to admit the world's poor, they tell us, even if it makes our own country poorer and dirtier and more divided. Immigration is a form of atonement.
Okay, I have a question. Does he know immigrants are like everybody who comes into this
I don't know.
Because I have a feeling he has one, is he talking about one specific person he knows?
He's like,
I
Claudia.
really don't like him.
Yeah, don't invite Claudia in from Portugal.
I don't like her. Tucker, that's not just a Claudia word. It's for all of them people. My mother's from Germany. She's annoying, don't get me wrong, but she's not like she's an immigrant though.
She's not ruining the country.
Well, that's debatable. She had her way.
She had her way.
She's a nice lady. She's fine.
So in the wake of his controversial remarks, more than 30 advertisers cut ties with his show. Yikes, including IHOP, Red Lobster, Samsung. So anyway,
Jesus Christ, big.
Instead of apologizing, he doubled down. He goes, the left. Yeah, he goes, the left says that we have a moral obligation to admit the world's poor, okay? Even if it makes our own country more like Tijuana.
Does he understand all of Silicon Valley is immigrants here on HSB, whatever those like visas are?
He doesn't get it.
Coding like AI, like unbelievable. They are the most talented. Come on. It's so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of thoughts on that, but I'm going to spare it because we've got more to talk about.
Oh yeah. All right. So the next one is he called Maren Morris, who is a country singer.
All right.
A moron.
Okay. Well, listen. I'm like that fair.
No, wait, sorry. I just ad-libbed that. He called her a lunatic.
What did she do? Was she a lunatic?
I think she was pro-transgender rights.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So she's crazy.
Okay, not just generally. Listen, I don't like her music. Cool, just specifically on the perfect. Okay.
There was a social media feud with country singer Jason Aldean's wife, Brittany, about transgender rights. So between Marin and Brittany Aldean. And she found herself a topic of Carlson's show, basically, this Marin Morris guy. Blah, blah, blah. And so she disparaged parents of transgender youth on Instagram. Brittany did. Sorry. So Jason Aldean's wife was doing this. And then
Morris
Morris was like, hey, watch it.
Don't
and Carlson called her a lunatic.
All right.
Damn.
Also, like, I'm not surprised.
And then anyway, I know, of course not. Like that. This is what makes it like not sensational. I'm like, yeah. If he were like, listen, we think we should be advocating for more healthcare for trans people specifically, I would be like, that's shocking.
Yeah, that would have been I would have been like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
So in the wake of the drama, Morris made light of the situation by releasing a merch line to clap back at the insult. So the shirt features her name with the words, quote, lunatic country music person, which is kind of hilarious.
That's great.
And then she raised $100,000 since launching the line to benefit trans rights groups. Can I tell you, I have no idea who any of these fucking people are. I could not name one single song from any of these lunatics. Okay?
Jason Aldean, he's got some music.
Apparently his wife hates trans people or some shit. I don't know.
I feel like he was like, country music is like so funny. Please look at the names of these fucking songs. Dirt Road Anthem, Burning It Down, She's Country,
Trouble with a Heartbreak,
Big Green Tractor. I actually do know that one. It's really good.
Oh, I do know that one.
That one is really good.
Yeah.
You Make It Easy, Trouble with a Heartbreak. Yeah. It's literally they take 45 words and just shake them up.
Yep.
And then throw them in an order, and then that's
with my dog in my truck on my front lawn tractor.
Drinking whiskey, I'm an alcoholic. No one will tell me.
Used to drink Bud Light.
Now I can't.
Now we're doing some weird folksy thing.
Oh my god, this like little. Yeah, that's an option.
So anyway, I've never liked country music.
I haven't
tried
either.
Because I understand it's like feel good, like summertime.
It's a fun vibe.
It's a fun. I understand the vibe. For me, I don't like the music, but I listen to depressing shit. To be honest with you,
I listen to
the
worst music you've ever heard. For sure, hard stop.
Why do you listen to it? You think at least in your taste it'd be good music.
Listen, I don't listen to this. I also don't think that's good. But for me, I know I unironically listen to Skrillex.
What?
So that's a problem. No, I get it. I get I'm a problem.
That was going to be my example. Exactly. I was like, Laura's sitting here listening to Skrillex while she works. No wonder you're so fucking stressed out all the time.
It's literally machines like having aneurysms.
That is the
and I'm
worst.
like, this is pretty good. It's 5 a.m. I'm going to practice. I'm like,
shit like that, like Skrillex. You can understand how the older generations were just like, I don't fucking.
I remember. I actually have such a specific memory of standing in the elevator, and I was going into a meeting with these old fucking men, and I knew that like some of the guys didn't respect me, and I was like listening to my music, and I was like, I'm literally listening to what would give them heart attacks. Like, how are they gonna make me feel shitty when they would have a migraine for the rest of their lives?
Correct.
Okay, this is an element of power I've got right here. It was weirdly empowering.
This is the funniest story in my mind ever. So there was this girl who invited people over. This was when I worked at guilt.com, and she invited people over to her new house. She was having like a housewarming at her new apartment. And there was like 5 of us, and there was like a bunch of dips out with all these like letters out on the dips. And so there's like 5 of us trying to have a conversation, and she was, and I think that, like eating like dips, like serving dips.
Oh my God, I thought it was like tobacco.
No. Like
on the country music thing still.
Like a buffalo chicken dip.
Got it.
And so they had like the little labels out. It was like this cute little just love basic bitch kind of apartment. Like,
sure.
I'm a basic bitch, whatever, fine.
Went to Marshall's, bought some home goods.
And we go there. We don't really know this girl that well. And her boyfriend, I guess like they just don't know how to they probably just don't listen to music. So they're like, I don't know what people like. So they just put on Skrillex, like wicked fucking loud. And me and my friend Vince are like, you want to get out of here? And it was like, we're just trying to eat like buffalo. There's like 4 of us. It was like not a big party. And I was like, what? And he's like, let's go in like 10 minutes. I was like, what? It's like blasting. And like once a month I will text him. I'll be like, never forget when we were in that girl's apartment who we never talked to ever again. And there was like
Her
7
modem
of
is
us.
melting down.
Yeah, and she was just blasting Skrillex because I think they just.
I would
they
have
must
gotten
just
around
not
with.
known.
I would have gotten along with her. I would
Oh
have been
my
like, "This is
God.
good. You hear the latest tracks? It's pretty good." I
We were
like how he had the beeps added into it.
We literally we gotta get out of here. I'm gonna cry.
Here's the thing: when you're listening to it the entire time, you know this isn't good. It's not good,
No,
and
it's very
I know
bad.
that I need therapy because my brain is happy right now.
No thanks.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Listen.
Okay. Next one. Back to Tucker. So October 6, 2022, Tucker Carlson interviewed Kanye West. You probably saw some snippets in this.
Oh, yeah. Who didn't?
Who didn't? So Kanye West had promoted a White Lives Matter shirt.
Of course.
Obviously very controversial.
He's black.
And yeah. And he defended his
You didn't know.
right. So he defended his decision to wear that shirt at his Yeezy Season 9 presentation during 2022 Paris Fashion Week on Tucker. And it aired in 2 parts. So, and this is what Kanye West said. He goes, I do certain things from a feeling. I just channel the energy. It just feels right. I'm using gut instinct, a connection with God, and just brilliance.
Was this when he did that weird interview with the mask on?
I don't think so.
Do you remember that?
I don't know what that one was. With like a COVID mask or like a real mask?
He was on InfoWars.
Oh.
No, maybe not. Oh,
With Alex Jones?
Yeah. Yeah. He comes on with the full ski mask.
Well, I think he was trying at that point.
And he went on Alex Jones in a full ski mask.
Yeah, and
talks about liking Hitler.
Right, I remember that.
This was yeah, you're right. I think this was on the tail end of his
his episode,
his tour.
Well, have we found him?
I don't know.
Because remember he was missing.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen him. Kanye
Kim?
West, where is he?
Where's the father of your children?
Where is he? That's definitely what happened to him. That was on April 10th. What is Kanye doing now? No, we don't know. Oh, this is from 2020. Listen, things have changed.
Yeah.
He's in Los Angeles, apparently. He's been spotted around the cities a few times with his wife, Blanca.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this girl. She's like a
Bianca,
discount.
sorry. New wife, Bianca Sensori.
She's like a discount Kim.
Kim, really? Oh, yeah, they were spotted in January having dinner at Nobu.
What do you talk to him about?
Who knows?
Oh, he would be so scary. Who would be scarier to date, him or Elon? I think Kanye.
I think Kanye, because I mean,
Elon
he
would
went
be
on
psycho
Alex
too,
Jones and
though.
says that he likes Hitler.
Yeah.
That's whoa.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
the fuck did he do that? That is so weird.
I don't know. We're gonna solve it.
Yeah. No, what's his face already did that. The guy from 21 Jump Street. Alrighty. So next controversy, I think we all saw this coming. March 6th of 2023, he downplayed the January 6th Capitol attack. So yeah. So he faced backlash from Republican and Democratic lawmakers alike when describing the footage of the January 6th assault on the Capitol as, quote, mostly peaceful chaos. So he actually he aired select snippets from the 41,000 hours of security footage to make it look like it was sort of like really tame, I guess. And he said, deadly insurrection?
Didn't a guy die?
One woman died. I said,
So yeah, deadly.
yeah, he goes, deadly
That's
insurrection. Everything about that phrase is a lie. So anyway, so he says,
Insurrection and deadly. Someone died. It was an
yeah.
Tucker, what are you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a really good podcast out actually, and it's about the radicalization of the woman who died. It's like really sad because she used to be very, very leftist, extremely leftist. And so people were shocked that she was going, and it basically she had gotten like radicalized somehow, some way, and moved over to the far, far right and was like meeting up with friends at the riot and then got trampled
Wow.
and died.
Being
So-
radicalized sounds not fun.
No, people need jobs. Like I really
Need a
feel like
mortgage.
people need a mortgage, they need jobs, they need a family, they need friends. This is really sad and I hate to even bring it up because it makes me so sad. I've seen some like research findings and all this stuff that friendship is significantly lower than it used to be.
Like people having friends.
Like the younger generations, they just spend time on their phone and everything's curated exactly for them. So there's no camaraderie. There's no like everyone's, watching the same TV or whatever.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, because I remember like a big part of school was that, I mean, maybe they don't let phones in school. I'm not really sure.
Oh, they definitely let phones in school.
Well, then that's tough, because I remember like a big part of it was like passing notes to each other and like sitting in class and
now
like
it's just texting, I guess.
I guess, but you're like, I don't know, a lot of it's just you're bored sitting next to each other versus like scrolling and reading things that people are saying or watching videos or something like that.
Yeah.
Or filming superficial TikTok dances with your friends who you've never spoken to.
I
You're like,
know.
Can you hold the camera though?
I know. It's really a bummer. Also, I feel like conflict resolution is probably down as well, because it's like it used to be that you had your class of students at your school, and if you got in a fight with Becky, it's like I have to resolve this because I'm going to see Becky every day.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, I got in a fight with Becky. Well, fuck it. These thousands of people that I talk to on the internet.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about it.
I don't have to worry about Becky. She's being a bitch. And now my TikTok is doubling down on what I already think and already believe, that like she's toxic and whatever. And it's like, no, like, well, you have to learn to get along with people and work to get along with people in your life and with Becky.
With the Beckys.
So anyway,
no,
that is my evidence.
That's my parenting advice.
That's my parenting advice.
Someone with no children.
Okay, so there was another. He was entangled with controversy off the air, similar to our boy Don Lemon. He defended himself against an accusation from a man named Juan Granados, who said that Carlson assaulted him at a country club in Virginia in November of 2018. So this is the guy right here.
All right.
Apparently, he also had previously filed a few like discrimination suits against the Virginia Health Club. So he's sort of like.
He was a trouble, like
kind of
riling people up.
Yeah, and nothing really happened out of this.
Tucker's
which
not
sort of
like
made
that
me think,
stupid. Like I don't think he would. Why would he assault someone?
Right.
Same with Dawn, where it's like, why?
I know. So the video from the scene does not show him assaulting anyone, and the host said that the confrontation came after the man had approached his family. So the guy came over and was basically yelling at him. Because he probably, what the guy was hoping for was for Tucker to hit him and then get a bunch of money.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
For sure. That's so annoying.
It is.
If they have to deal with that.
I mean, here's what's like so crazy. Obviously, Tucker Carlson is a fucking egomaniac and, et cetera, et cetera. But like, him and his, like, they can't, what are they going to go to Applebee's? They're just going to go sit at Applebee's? Like, they can't go anywhere.
No, they really can't. It's really like a little prison that these people go into.
Yeah.
I was reading a Reddit thread of people's like weird celebrity encounters, and a lot of it sounds like people just being really rude.
Oh, yeah.
Like, especially, or they were weird ones in New York, but I'm sure around the country or like all over.
Oh, definitely.
Like, I've seen people and like forgetting they're human beings.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not like, oh, Tucker, like a poor guy, but just as a whole, if you're that notorious,
I saw
people lose like their sense of like, this is normal. We're in public.
Right. That's a person with ears and eyes.
They might be in a bad mood. Maybe I should just be normal.
Right. Well, also, like, I remember a few years ago, I saw the cast of The Summer House.
It's the same kind of thing, right?
Same kind of thing. And there was like some girl that was like, I didn't like you on the show. Nah, like was like yelling at some guy. And like the guy was like, okay.
Yeah, what?
I'm on a fucking reality show.
It's
like
television. It's scripted.
It's scripted and I don't like it's insane.
Yeah, people are nuts.
Okay, so this is really funny. So do you remember Bubba the Love Sponge?
No, but love the name.
We talked about him in a previous episode where we talked about Peter Thiel suing Gawker.
Okay.
But really it was Hulk Hogan suing Gawker, but Peter Thiel was funding Hulk Hogan, yada yada. So a series of it was a really good one. So listen back to that. There was a series of tapes that were leaked in March 2019 that contained some shocking comments that Carlson allegedly made when he called into the Shock Jock radio program.
Shock, that's a fun job.
I know. So he could be heard. This is so random. He could be heard contesting the prosecution of former polygamist cult leader Warren Jeffs, who was later convicted for child sexual abuse. What on earth?
So Tucker just got a wild hair up his ass one morning and was like, I'm calling in.
And he was basically like, they liked it. They wanted it.
Oh, no. Tucker.
Which is really funny because
what a weird hill to die on, man.
I feel like randomly, like the right's whole platform right now is like, the left is all fucking pedophiles.
They really, pedophiles is like a big thing for them.
Yeah, and back in 2011, he was like, listen, let this pedophile walk, okay? Because these ladies, they liked it.
Oh my God.
They also contained several different belittling comments about women, including Carlson saying that he wouldn't have voted to confirm Supreme Court Elena Kagan because he didn't find her attractive, which is how you know they're qualified
To be in the Supreme Court. Honestly, I'm glad, just not distracted. That's good.
He also said that women are, quote, extremely primitive
Oh my
and,
God.
quote, just need to be quiet.
Oh, I think he needs to be quiet. I think he's pretty primitive.
Well, listen to our podcast,
yeah,
okay? We
we're
won't shut the
famously
fuck
not
up.
quiet.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have on Tucker
Okay.
Carlson. Do you have anything else to add? I'm sure
No.
you guys are screaming at your
There's
phones
so
or laptops.
much.
There's so much.
Obviously, well, the one thing that came out today was that there
Oh, boy.
was more stuff. There's a lot of bad stuff here, right? But he was I forget, it was like watching a video of a couple guys fighting an Antifa person. I don't even know.
Yes. So what I read was that it was people that were in the video. It's like Trump supporters at some rally or something like that, and they were beating the shit out of some guy who was in Antifa.
And he was saying that he was upset with the way they were fighting because it's not how white men fight, which is problematic, obviously, because what do you mean by that, Tucker? And then I think, honestly, people have like buried this one. I think this is almost more upsetting that he wanted them to kill. the
Yeah,
Antifa guy.
he said, he goes, I had, like, I loved watching it. I wanted them to, like, hurt them
Yeah.
more, basically.
Yeah.
And then he, like, stepped back from that, and he was like, oh, I realize it's really unhealthy to have these thoughts. And I'm like, whoa,
It's interesting because
dude,
he's like clearly being radicalized and maybe kind of recognizing that a little bit.
Maybe, I
think
guess.
he's gotten more intense over time.
Well, also he was like pushing back, like with the election stuff and whatever. Like, so that I feel like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see where this guy goes because obviously
what
there's
his
a
next
lot
step
of
is.
people that are big fans of him and a lot of people that big hate him. My advice for him to be to move to Florida. I don't know if that's where he
Certainly.
lives. Let's see where he lives. Imagine
He
just
must
lives
live
in,
in New
like-
York, right? Because isn't that where they film?
I'm sure they have different places to film,
Oh,
right?
you're probably right.
Let's see.
Tucker, where do you live?
Where does
Oh, I know he
Tucker
has a place in
Carl-
Maine.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
sounds lovely.
That does sound lovely. San
San
Francisco?
Francisco?
No, maybe he lives
that's
there. He lives on a barrier island in Florida.
Okay,
At least that's one of his homes.
that makes sense. Well, listen, guys, we'll keep an eye on him. We'll let you know if he's up to more stuff. I think that's pretty much the latest. I know he got in a fight with Murdoch's ex-fiance.
Oh,
who
that
we should do
too. We didn't talk
we
about
should do
that.
an entire episode on Murdoch specifically because
Yeah.
wow.
So real quick before we get out of there, this is like probably one of the funniest things I've ever fucking heard in my entire life. So around the time that he got fired, apparently they were at dinner, Murdoch, Murdoch's fiance, and Tucker and his wife. Or maybe just Tucker. I don't know. Whatever. And the fiance of Murdoch was like, I think that Tucker is like the second coming of God and all this
she's
weird shit.
extremely religious, like very religious.
Yeah.
Like I think she was fucking 100% serious when she said that.
And Rupert Murdoch then dumped her and fired Carlson like within a month.
Literally.
So it could just be like extremely personal.
It could be that he just really didn't like that the woman he was about to marry thinks he was the second coming of Christ.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
Rupert Murdoch's 92. He looks like a worm.
He looks so gross.
Oh man.
Let's get a good look at this lady. Yeah.
She's 65, and honestly, she's had a lot of work done, and she does not look 65.
No,
I'll
she
give
looks
her that.
great. What a lunatic! What
a
a
wild
wild ride.
scenario. Yeah, guys, that's it.
Okay, well, I hope you
Hope you
guys
enjoyed.
enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Please tell your friends. Do us a solid and follow us on Instagram. I'm May_planner.
And I'm Laura Sogar, and
Risque Business News.
Risque Business News.
And
we'll
check
be back
out
next week.
check out our YouTube. Please subscribe to that. That helps us out a lot. And that's all, folks.
Yep. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.
Bye.